What is this clip? Did I miss something? Buddies, courtesy of our mods, Wandering Bishop and Anit. So let me load that. We'll do that. How do my Tesla calls do? They're doing badly, but I also sold even. Yeah, I said Tesla calls, and you heard it as, yeah, that's good. I like it. Good one. Okay, so this is white to play and win. Please don't give it away. So first thing we know is that if rook g8, king d7 is a draw. So we know it's king d6 for starters because you threaten checkmate. And after rook d8, the question is it king c7 or not? This one feels, wait, it's here, 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 king c6 maybe? And if rook d1, you have, if rook down, you have rook e2 check. If f6, you have rook g8, rook g7. Rook d8, you have check, check. Yeah, actually, this one's very easy. This one seems pretty easy. So I think it's, I'm pretty sure, actually, let me put on a timer too, because I had a timer before. This is white to play and win. Let me try to finish this puzzle off. Thank you to Dirty Duchess for the prime. Instinct says it's here, here, king c6. And if rook c8, no, wait, sorry, it's here, here, and then king c7. If king e7, rook e2 wins. If rook e8, rook g8 wins. If rook d1, rook e2 still is checkmate. So rook d7, king c6, rook a7, rook e2, rook e7. Wait, it's not so simple. Rook g8, king e7, bishop f8, king e6, bishop c5. Yeah, so I figure it out. So the way that you win this game, and I won't turn on the engine yet, but it's you go king here. So if black moves, let's just say any move, there's a checkmate threat. You just go checkmate. If black pushes the pawn, you go check and collect the rook. So black can't push the pawn here. You can't move the king, you can't move the pawn. So we've established that all these moves are bad. So you can't move the pawn, the king, or the pawn. And if you move the rook down, you get mated. That means the only move is rook d8 here. And now what you do is you go king c7. And the reason this is winning is because now if black goes rook a8, you go check here, takes, and you collect the rook. And let me stop the clock, because that one took me a lot less time. So you can't move the rook over. If you push a pawn, I just check and collect the rook. So you can't move the pawn. You can't move this pawn either because it's the same thing. So you can't move both pawns. If you move the king up to e7, I check you, king goes, and I take the rook. So you can't move the two pawns or the king here. We've established you can't move the rook down like to d1 because you get checkmated in one move here. So this move is bad, these three moves are bad, these moves all lose as well. So you can't move any of these things. So the only move you can play is rook to d7 check. And now the reason this wins is because you go king here. And now let's say black pushes a pawn. If black pushes a pawn, you go check, king e7, you go bishop. I think actually you have to be a little bit careful here, but I think you go bishop to f, or wait, not bishop f8. You go bishop to g5, check here. And now if black goes like king e6, you go rook to e8 and you win the game. And it's actually very instructive. So after takes here, you think, well, this probably is a draw. The pawn is moving fast, but it's actually not a draw because you go rook a8, f5, rook a3, f4, king e6, king here, king e5, f3. Now king to e4. Really, really important move here, because if you push the pawn, I go rook to f3 and I cut your king. King can't come forward to support it, and the rook is just going to capture the pawn at f2 next move. So this would be very cleanly winning. So you can't really push this pawn we've established. So now if you push this pawn, it's the same thing. Just check, check, collect the rook. So you can't push either pawn here. Both pawns don't work. If you go king to d8, for example, I go rook to g8, king to e7, bishop to g5, and we're going to get the same endgame here, or f6, rook, f6. F6, I think actually you just take and you win quite easily with the same idea. So basically you can't move the king to d8. You can't push the two pawns. So what else is there? King e7 also loses a rook check. If king here, I take, and if king here, I go check, king over, check, and you get mated because the bishop and the rook protect each other. So you can't move the king, you can't move the two pawns. So now you can only move the rook. And let's see, what are the rook moves that are doable here? These three moves don't work. This move doesn't work. This move doesn't work. These two don't work. So they're these four squares, but it's the same problem with rook check, king here, check, and again you're going to get mated. So you can't move the rook to these four squares, you can't move it to these two squares, or these two squares either. So the only square that you can go with the rook to here is a7. It's the only square, because as we've established, every other square on the board is basically a loss. I capture on these 4, this loses to this loses to that, so you basically can't move anything. There's a volume problem. I think volume is good. What happened to volume? Something happened to my volume? What are you talking about? Yeah, volume is fine. You guys are trolling. Okay. All right. So therefore in this position, the only move black can play is rook to a7, because now if I check, you can just block with the rook. So rook a7 is the only move, but the reason this loses is because now you go check, king e7, you go check. If the king goes back to either of these 2 squares, this is just checkmate. Same thing with d8, just checkmate. So the only squares you have are f6 or e6, and I don't think it actually makes a huge difference which one you go to. But okay, let's just say you go to e6. If you go to e6, I go bishop c5. If rook goes to a5, I go king b6 and I trap your rook. Rook is trapped in the corner here, and it's game over. So this is how you would win in this position. However, if we go back, let's just go back. There's also rook d7, but after rook e8, it's the same thing. You win the game. So the only other try is king to f6, and now the difference with king f6 is now if you go rook bishop c5, rook a5, king b6, you win again. But on rook a6, if you go king b5, now there's rook e6, because I put the king on this square, so I create space for the rook. But after rook a6, this is still losing, because now I go bishop b6, pawn to a3, and I go king to b5, and your rook is trapped again. No squares on the file. And if you try pawn to a2, if I take, obviously you get a queen and black is winning. But I can go bishop to d4 check, king moves, I take the rook, now the bishop prevents the pawn from queening, or if you queen, I capture and it's game over. So let's go to the videotape. Let's see. Survey says king d6 is winning, but let me put the depth on unlimited. Let's see. Okay, so now the engine's kind of going up. Okay, finally it's starting to get the hang of it. But I just want to make sure that I got it right. So it is king d6, rook to d8, king c7, rook d7, king c6, rook a7, rook g8, king e7, bishop f8, and if king e6 is bishop c5, rook a6, king b5 is winning, and if king f6, it's bishop c5, rook a6, bishop b6, and you're winning the endgame. So very, very, very good stuff.